Good evening, DTM Roji. Good evening, BPM. Good evening, President Ryan.
Good evening, Press Alfred.
Good evening, Sum Master. Good evening, Eddie Fards.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello. Good evening, DTM Roy.
The evening is good, but we need
Hello, good evening.
Good evening,
Sorry,
TM artist.
sorry, I arrived late. Can the Zoom master provide a uh, hosting? I mean, can I be a co-host for tonight? I'll be presenting some slides later. Just in the nick of time. Kala ko hindi ako aabot. Good evening, press. How are you? Am I loud and clear?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Can the Zoom master provide co-host for the other account, not the TOE?
Mr. Champion, are you ready?
Okay. TM Harris.
Yes po.
Pwede mo ma-edit? Okay, okay na po.
Yung isa po. Yung isa po sana yung co-host.
Si IPP Mike din po, pa-co-host din daw po.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning.
Ano bang account to? Kalimutan ko na yung isa. Yung Harris Asidera po. Yeah, thank you. Let me just check if my slides are working. Pwede ko pong i-check yung slides ko. Sino pong nag-ano? Sino pong nagpo-post nitong agenda?
Si AD Fords po.
Pwede ko ba siyang i-override? Or
Try nyo nga po.
sige, try natin. So ngayon baka magalit si AD Birds. Baka magalit si VPN.
TM Bernard,
Yeah.
good evening.
Good evening, Toastmaster Bernard. All right, yes, it's all set.
Press, we can begin.
Mr. Sergeant at Arms, are you ready? 1 minute.
Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Please settle down. In 1 minute, we will start the meeting. Thank you. Where is that? Okay. All right, I think
We can start.
we can start.
We're good to go. We're just waiting for TM and J. She will follow na lang.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, if we have. Welcome to Peak Pariad Toastmasters Club, Club number 8490, Area 5, Division N, and District 79. Today is March 16, 2021, and our meeting agenda for tonight is 1170. Can you imagine how far we are 1,170. And I am your Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Marty David, and I would like to remind everyone to please, if we can avoid the three topics during the meeting, please do it so. Number one is the religion, politics, and sex. Also, please set up your gadgets, your camera, your lightings, and audio also, so that we will save our time. And I believe that's it. And without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our very supportive president. Can you, I know every one of you noticed that every contest, he is there, especially the last contest in Division N. He is really supportive. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our lovely president, Toastmaster Alfred Reyes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, and we reiterate our appreciation and gratitude to both of you, Toastmaster BPM Lilian Beldad, and our humorous champion, Toastmaster Marty David. Thank you very much for your support to our club and for representing our club to the Division N. Luckily, we got the championship in the humorous speech contest. Congratulations, TM Marty. And TM Lilian, maybe next time we will try a little bit more enthusiastic because the delivery was good. But as if I were the judge, you lack some few enthusiasm. But you did very well, and congratulations. And tonight, we are very lucky for our Vice President for Education for giving us a very good team, the new normal of success. And just as the result of the previous division and contest, our victory is the new normal of success, which is our TOE and our table topics master will elaborate further later on. And thank you for coming in early to our early birds, especially to our, of course, the person who don't want to be named, who is our Zoom master always, together with Mr. John Ray Tabuhara, Toastmaster John Ray. Of course, our AD Ferds is always there supporting us with our Zoom. DTM Roji, although he's not visible. May I request everyone please to open your video so I can see your handsome and beautiful faces. Let's consider it as not a fortuitous event. After all, we seldom see each other only through virtual meeting. I'd like to acknowledge also IPP Mike, Past President Harris, our TOE, and Sergeant at Arms Marty David, and especially Toastmaster Bernard for coming in early. I believe we don't have a guest tonight. And without much further ado, to lead us in this activity, I'd like to introduce to you to a person who is being loved by his peers due to his being wholesomeness, and he is no doubt handsome, of course, and very much available. His eloquence and charisma had made him the most wanted bachelor, although he is the current Vice President for Public Relations in the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers. and the president of the Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers. He is also a PRTcian, and his heart remains with PRTC. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please welcome our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Harris Asidera.
Thank you so much to Thank you so much to our club president, Toastmaster Alfred Reyes. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How's everyone? How's the newly vaccinated people? Right now, I'm feeling a little bit flustered. The vaccine has already kicked in. Last night, I don't feel anything, but tonight, I'm feeling the heat. And with your opening, Mr. President, I really feel the heat, especially in our chat box. All right, let me just share my slides with you. I do hope that you are comfortable in your seats and you have already eaten your dinner. And if not, let us listen to a wonderful topic for tonight, the new normal of success, and also from our lone speaker for tonight. Let us also participate in the table topics for tonight. I'm sure our table topics master has prepared a lot of questions for us, which will tickle our imagination and our witty thoughts. Why is it not sharing? All right, there you go. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the new normal of success. When I first heard this theme, it really puzzled me. What's the new normal of success? But before we dig deeper into our theme for tonight, let us first remind each and everyone to have a better viewing experience. Kindly switch to speaker's view. You can see the speaker's view option on the topmost right portion of your laptop. And if you are using a mobile phone, you can go to the speaker area, which is the first area or the first window of your Zoom app. And if you want to focus on somebody who is speaking, you just have to long press that person or that option so that you can focus on that person who is speaking. Mute your mic unless it is your turn to speak. And the Zoom master kindly spotlight the speakers as the meeting progresses. Before we dig deeper into our theme, join me in a short prayer. In a short prayer as we seek guidance and provisions to the Almighty God. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day as you gather us tonight. Nourish our hearts and minds so that we can listen intently with clear thoughts and an earnest heart. May you guide all the speakers and bring us joy as we showcase our ideas and experiences that you so graciously bestowed. This we ask to our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody, let us now recite the Toastmasters motto. For better listening,
For better listening,
for better thinking,
For
for
better
better
thinking,
thinking,
Thinking.
for better speaking.
for better speaking.
All together now. We
we
learn by
learn
Learn
by
doing.
by
doing.
doing.
Thank you so much, everyone. Tonight, we will be discussing about the new normal of success. And in this ever changing world, we live in a dynamic world where it is changing every minute. The pandemic taught us that we cannot really predict the future. We can just prepare for it. When we say the new normal of success, what is the gauge of your success? Before, we always hear our colleagues and our elders, that for you to be successful in life, you have to really study and you have to prepare for it. And based on my research and some readings as well about our topic for tonight, it's really challenging. Our vice president for education is really challenging the wits and the resourcefulness of every functionaries that he chooses. And I have found out that this pandemic taught us that nothing is really constant in this world. We can predict the future. However, Are we really prepared for that? What is the new normal of success? And what can we do when we face such changes? Are we prepared? For example, let's just narrow down our topic for tonight. For my opening, let us narrow down our topic in our regular Toastmasters meeting. When the pandemic kicked in, are we prepared for the online or the Zoom meetings? How did we cope up? And what can we do? Do everything that you can, but do not think that you can control the possible scenarios that can happen. Even though we are online, there are still many things that you cannot control. For example, the vulnerability of our internet signal, our our places. It depends on where you are located. Are you situated near the tower of STC, Zain or Mobile? And even though you are near them, why are we still having intermittent signals? Number two, ensure a strategy is in place for plan A doesn't work. You have a backup that can adapt to the new norm. PRTC, specifically the Execom. Do you have different plans? Do you have plan A, B, C, D up to Z? How are you coping with the new pandemic and how did you plan for this term? You should always have plan A to plan Z. And also, think outside the box. Right now, the new normal of success entails or asks us to really think outside of the box. For example, in PRTC, it's not always the activities that you follow from the previous term that you're going to do it right now. You will not benchmark from that, but you have to think outside of the box. You have to own it. You have to make this term your own. So how are you going to do that? Now's the time to unleash your creativity and out of this world ideas can help realize that. You can't control, you can't plan definitively. We can always plan things, we can always define things. But due to this pandemic, it cornered us to really think outside of the box. You can't really control everything and the outcome as well. So you have to plan based on your goals. Our platform will shift constantly and we should be agile in adapting to these ripples in the organization. For example, pathways. Is it really adaptive? Is it still the new norm? Is it still relevant to what you are looking for? Do not lose that sense of belongingness. Sometimes, even though we are meeting virtually, it's kind of feel cold, right? Don't you think? It's kind of mechanical because we don't feel each other, we don't see each other's faces. Right now, I can only see my face and the slides. I'm not even seeing your reactions. I don't know how you are reacting right now to my slides and what I am presenting. So do not lose that sense of belongingness even if we are connected online. Dig deep into your roots. Go back into the previous PRTC meetings and remember those memories. Remember all those good times that we have shared together during the face to face meetings. And coupled with your preparedness for online meetings, that will have a great impact on your new normal of success. Always remember VUCA, volatile or volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. These are the times right now. It's either you cope or you will lose the game. You have to be the front runners, just as what we always coin PRTC, the Toastmasters University. And right now, let us congratulate last week's meeting winners for our best prepared speech speaker, Toastmaster. Oh, I forgot to put the name. However, I have her beautiful photo. Toastmaster Nerilyn Joy de Una. For our best table topic speaker, Toastmaster Alfred Reyes. Let's also congratulate our best evaluator from our last week meeting, Toastmaster Lilian Dodat. Our best meeting leader, our Zoom master, Toastmaster Jean Ray Tabuhara. And last but not the least, our best segment host, distinguished Toastmaster Sean Louis Sadico. Congratulations for winning our last week, our last week meeting winners. And as of this juncture, may I please have the attention of our Vice President for Education for any program change or changes?
Thank you so much.
Toastmaster first.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Evening, TM Harris. If you are handling the recent program, then there will no program change. But if you miss our latest program, the only program change is the role of accounter, which will be handled by Toastmaster Barbara Jane Pelicard. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our Vice President for Education. And I do hope that our general evaluator has noted that change from the roster of his meeting leaders. Now, before we proceed with our general evaluator, let us first tickle our funny bone with our joke master for tonight, no other than the Division A Director, our very own, a good supporter of PRTC, always a theoretician. Please give it up for Toastmaster Rosel Sazon.
Thank you so much for putting a lot of pressure on me and to our Zoom master that spotlight my face, which I believe will give me more humiliation in this session. Moving forward, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, if we have. I thought the joke master already taken my role, and that was our president, Toastmaster Alfred. Toastmaster Alfred, thank you for giving us or tickles our body when you give, I don't know if it's a joke or it's, I don't know. New normal of success. I don't know if I'm also bluffed by our Vice President for Education for this role, as I was asking him for a role in my division contest, and he segued that I will take the joke master. Indeed, I take the role, and I'm in front of you taking the challenge. However, it was canceled, so I think it's unfair for me to humiliate myself right now. Moving forward, new normal of success. What a great theme. Actually, it's difficult for me to point a joke about success. Whoever thought make fun of success? So I was thinking how. I remember in PRTC before, the new normal is really giving us a lot of advantage and disadvantage. First thing, disadvantage first. In PRTC before, the awarding for the best prepared speaker and so on and so forth, we are being lent by Toastmaster Edna's house those trophies. Nowadays, everything become more serious as we are only receiving electronic awards. How's that? Second, the vaccination. We are all excited about this vaccination. However, everybody's transforming like Pokemon. Like someone becoming like Psyduck, some becoming like Bulbasaur, some becoming like Snorlax, that they are making it as a joke or making it as a reason to take a sick leave, but they're just living at home. Another disadvantage is that all of us here are equally like all women. In Saudi Arabia, before only women covered their faces. Now we're all covered our faces on the street. So somehow, if you're not wearing the right attire, they will think that you're also a woman. Another advantage is that they say it's time to change. Some people I know, they take advantage of the mask. They make some adjustment with their faces. It means they change their face. Last but not the least is the in Toastmaster, one of the advantage is that whatever we do, wherever we are, in virtual meeting, we can do a lot of things, but be careful. Don't take shower while taking meeting. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't take it straight from the bed. If you are naked sleeping, then you join Toastmasters meeting, be careful with your camera. They are the great spies. And not that, the meeting is recorded. So good luck and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening. I think I'm only one laughing here.
Thank you so much to our joke master, Dad. Division A Director, Toastmaster Rosel Hazard. Well, I did laugh as well. I did have a few chuckles. Thank you so much to our joke master for your efforts for tonight. Thank you so much for that smooth transition of your jokes for tonight. And I've seen some people in the chat box. Thank you so much for the compliments. And I am benchmarking the same method that the speakers of Pais Riyadh is doing. Whenever they have a Toastmaster of the evening, they have this kind of presentations so that the people who are really into visuals will be able to follow us, not just by listening. Moving forward to our general evaluator. For tonight, our segment, our segments are the prepared speeches, the table topics, and also the general evaluation. And for tonight, our general evaluator is one of the competent, distinguished Toastmasters of PRTC. He is well-rounded, he is well-respected, and I really admire how he progresses. And now he is really one of the pillars who are guiding PRTC to glory. Let's give it up for our general evaluator for tonight, distinguished Toastmaster Rogelio Wenceslao Jr.
Am I the general evaluator? I thought I was the table topics evaluator only. I think
I'm
it's
really so I'm really sorry for that. Let me let me I think I have the wrong program. Anyways, I'm really sorry for that. My mistake. Our general evaluator for tonight is one of the guiding lights of not just PRTC, but other clubs as well. He is a mentor, he is a sponsor, he is a champion maker as well. Please help me welcome our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster, Ruel Ontiveros. I'm sorry, DTM Ruel.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Harris Asidera. I was really amazed with that introduction that I am well-rounded, not knowing that it was distinguished Toastmaster Roji who is well-rounded, and I am referred to as a different kind of round. Anyway, that was funnier than the very serious joke master a while ago. And yes, tonight, though we have new normal as our theme for our Toastmaster event or the meeting, we still maintain a certain level of professionalism as well as the vanguard of standard that we have here in PRTC. And with that, it is my task tonight to make sure that our program, our meeting, is as per the standards of Toastmaster International or even possibly surpass it. Tonight, I have already noted some pre-evaluation of the things that I am expecting, and also I have already noted some points that we can possibly correct with ourselves. Later on, I'll be taking care of all of those pre-evaluation, but take note, I will be evaluating from the Sergeant at Arms to the post-evaluation of the President to the mistake of the Toastmaster of the evening to the possible wonderful questions of the table topics master, as well as the evaluator's report later. But for now, I am helped by a bunch of really wonderful Toastmasters. Let me introduce them to you as they're going to give the details of their task. Let's start with our grammarian, the president of Spicer, and of course, always having that normal smile wherever he is. Let us put our hands together and let's welcome our grammarian Toastmaster Harry Mark Tolentino.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Roel. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, distinguished guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And for tonight's meeting, the word is fortuitous, an adjective which means happening by chance, accidental. And an example of using the word is the timing of the meeting is certainly fortuitous. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting, and also report on the usage of the word of the day. And back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, our grammarian Toastmaster, Harry Mark Tolentino. And next in line is not a fortuitous accident or happening, that the name of her beauty spa is Jamila because she herself is a Jamila personified, meaning beautiful. Let's put our hands together now and let's welcome our encounter, Toastmaster Barbara.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, for that Jamilawus introduction. As your counter, it is my responsibility to take note of all our words and sounds that would affect the quality of our speeches. So these are crutches or pause fillers. And during the meeting, I will be taking note of some overused words, including and, well, you know, but, and so. Also, I'll be taking down the number of whoever will be repeating some of their words in their speeches. And also, as a face counter, in our continuous fight to spread the COVID-19 virus, we are advised not to touch our faces or our hairs. But eventually, at the end of the meeting, I will only be reporting the almost 100% accuracy of my report as an counter. But unfortunately, it would be fortuitous only to report an accurate report for the face counter, as we are sometimes removing our video. And that would be all. Back to you, our general evaluator.
Really wonderful to have you again as our encounter, Toastmaster Barbara. And not only that, we have another beautiful persona. Not only that she in our heart is our champion for the international speech contest, but also never a fortuitous event that she herself is a beauty queen, an exotic beauty by herself. Let's welcome our timer, Toastmaster Lilian Beldad.
Thank you so much, DTM Roy. And good evening, everyone. I was roasted as early as the opening speech of our president, but don't worry, Mr. President, we will talk to you later. In Toastmaster, we are being trained to be a good speaker. Part of this is to give the complete message in a given time, meaning we must learn how to talk long enough and to stop when we should. My duty tonight is to help our speakers to face themselves that when they see the green background, when they see the green background, meaning they have met the minimum time required. When they see the amber background, meaning they they are halfway between the minimum and the maximum required. And finally, when they see red, means they reached the maximum time required and they were given only 30 seconds to wrap up their speeches. Furthermore, I will be recording the time for each segment host delivers their remarks as per the program requirement. Towards the end of the meeting, when called upon the general evaluator, I will render my report. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lilian Beldad. And now, our vote counter, a wonderful guy who's always been supporting our club even when at the time that he was not being felt. But now, a full-fledged member once again of our club, our vote counter and our Zoom master. Let's welcome Toastmaster John Ray Tabuhara. Your sound, please. Let's do it again. Do your sound, please. Check your sound. Unmute yourself. There you are.
I'm sorry, Mr. General Evaluator.
You're
Thank
just
you.
too excited.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Tonight, I will be your Zoom master and vote counter. I will be controlling the audio and video presentation, spotlight the speaker, and to mute and unmute the audience depending on the requirement. I will be responsible of launching the polls for the best speaker in each of the segment of our meeting, namely prepared speeches, the table topics, and the evaluation session. Moreover, I am also going to launch the poll for the best segment host and best meeting leader. At the end of the meeting, when called upon by the presiding officer, I shall declare the results. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, our Zoom master and our vote counter, Toastmaster John Ray Tabuhara. And with that, we finish our meeting leaders' functions. Now for my proactive evaluation or some notes to consider. Number one is that we have already been having this virtual meeting for almost a year now, for almost 3 terms. The half of the term of the 50th Toastmasters or the 50th presidency, and then last term for the past 6 months, and now the first 3 months of the current term. You don't need to be reminded anymore of what to do. Mute yourself if you are not speaking, or unmute immediately before speaking, and also try to have your video as much as possible and give a virtual clap to whoever had delivered their speeches here in front or in your screen. And also, you will have to be timed. Possibly you will enjoy again speaking because there's no one around you except you and the roaring aircon. But it will be fortuitous if you are going to make a very wonderful time of yourself by pacing your speech on a given time. And with that, I think we're ready to have a wonderful evening tonight with the speeches, table topics, and evaluations. Of course, we had a wonderful joke master a while ago. He is very serious. And of course, he is also our Division A director, so we cannot make a joke out of him. And of course, the way I was introduced a while ago, which is really wonderful, a well-rounded person. I am oval, I presume, but the other guy was more round than me. And with that, back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the evening.
I really do apologize. I'm really sorry, Mr. General Evaluator. I well, it's my mistake. It's my mistake, and I take full accountability of that. I'm really, really sorry for that. And just to make it up for you, Mr. General Evaluator, I have edited my slides and I have corrected. There you go. I do hope that this time I will be pronouncing it correctly. And I have seen a wonderful photo of yours as well. See, very youthful, very dashing. General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster, Ruel Ontiveros. For that spot on general evaluation. And that is our third segment for tonight. And we will be hearing a lone speaker for this evening. And before we hear our lone speaker for tonight, let me first call his speech evaluator. His evaluator is one of the leaders of speakers of Vice President Toastmasters Club. He is the supersonic star as coined by the speakers of Vice President Toastmasters Club, and he has already two pathways, as I can see here. That's SR4. Please let us welcome evaluator Toastmaster Ryan Paul Panelo.
Thank you very much. Once again, our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Harris Hasadera, for that very warm introduction. And to my target speaker, Toastmaster Michael Benicarlo, this is your evaluation for tonight, or the purpose of your speech for tonight. The purpose of your project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. And the time length is around 5 to 7 minutes. And back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Press Ryan.
Without further,
For yes, please.
my speech is a question and answer, and it's 15 to 20 minutes.
Right, please, I'll just receive the new version of the evaluation sheet, please.
I'll forward to you. 1 minute.
There you have it. While the two of them are connecting with each other and forwarding the documents, I was really piqued by the title of the speech of our lone speaker for tonight. Our lone speaker for tonight is going to deliver the Level 4 Project 1 question and answer session from the Motivational Strategies path. And I really had a hard time researching as well the how to pronounce his speech title. Are you ready? Toastmaster Michael, were you able to share your evaluation sheet to our evaluator? Our Vice President for Education, can you please assist
Our
us?
evaluator, Toastmaster Ryan, receive. You're on mute.
Yes, I will check. I received now. Please go ahead, Toastmaster Michael.
Thank you so much.
You would like
Thank
to
you so
read
much,
the
gentlemen.
purpose
Okay.
again?
Yes, I will read again. All right. The purpose of your project is for the member to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. The purpose of your speech is for the member to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer question. The member is responsible for managing the time, so there is an adequate opportunity for both. And the time length is around 15 to 20 minutes. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much. Now the order has been restored, and I'm really piqued by the title of our speaker for tonight. With no further ado, he is a leader, he is a past president of PRTC, and tonight he is our lone speaker who will facilitate the question and answer session. Speaker number one, Toastmaster Michael Jean Benicarlo, Virtute Animi. Virtute Animi, speaker number one, Toastmaster Michael Jean Benicarlo.
Fellow Toastmasters, I believe that all of us in one point have heard of the Mozart effect. Mozart have created this composition which a lot of parents at that time in the 90s believed that if they play this classical music, their children will gain more intelligence or they will have more brain power. Because it is believed that our mind have a lot of power and all the things in the world is because of our powerful brain or mind. My title, Virtute Animi, is about the power of the mind. And also it's believed that when you play this classical music, the cows will also produce a lot of milk. So far, none of these are proven correct or wrong. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, have a pleasant evening. My story will begin with my story, of course, because at that time in my life, I've been suffering with insecurities. I believe that I am not smart. I believe that I am lazy and I don't have a future. That's what is mentioned to me and stated by my teacher at that time. At one time in my life, exactly on the year 1996, I started high school. When I started studying high school, I'm always at the last row in our classroom, especially because I'm always late and I don't have this interest to go to school. I would rather go outside and play computer games or run around in our playground and just play anything like soccer or baseball. And also because probably that I have gotten to believe that I don't have anything to give or I don't have this ability or talent. So in short, I don't believe in myself. It came also at that time that I wanted to also gain appreciation and also I want to have this prestige to gain an honor or to be at least on the top, at least top 5% in the class. So I decided to cheat, which unsuccessfully I have been caught by my teacher. So it saddened me and it added more hurt and insecurities in my heart. But then something happened when that teacher confronted me and told me that this is just a stage in your life. It's not the end. Even though you have tried to cheat unsuccessfully because you've been caught, and we talked in the guidance counselor's office, that guidance counselor told me that if you tried to study at least maybe one chapter at a week, every week, you will gain more knowledge than trying to plan how to cheat in our classroom. So I tried that strategy. I tried to study little by little. I tried to encourage also my friend to join me in studying. So from section G, I became I became at least on the top 5% on our fourth year in high school. I've been consistently in the average grade of 90. So it all started with one belief when I started to believe in myself and I started to study, I started to cultivate my mind. So anything we as a person can accomplish our dreams and our goals if we just put our mind into it. If we start to think positively, remove the negative aspect in our emotions, especially in our minds, because it will block our progress
Everything I can see.
if we
Thank you.
if we allow this negativity to affect
Ako na
us.
sa'yo. What do you like?
And
Latte?
also
Basta cold.
and also I tried to bring this encouragement in all aspect of my life. I tried also in my relationship with my family, especially with my mother, which I really miss, but probably because it's for my defensive for my defense, I tried to push her away because I put in my mind that my mother will not stay, my mother will not assist me in other things or the things that I would like to pursue. I push her away, which is not good for me in the end. But now that I have realized at this stage that, of course, mothers will always assist you in a lot of ways. So nowadays I became more positive. I became more welcoming. I don't entertain any negativity in my mind because there is also a study which if you think negative things and also if you think that you are sick, you will become also sick. I will share to you one of the studies because to emphasize that I'm not only talking about things that are a myth, this is also, yeah, okay. This is also backed by scientific evidence because this is done in the University of Illinois. There is a study about how the positive effect that leads to success because you are positive, you will gain also success and it will nourish your confidence to do more things. Okay. And also, 1 minute. Yes, this one. Also, there is a study about obsessively thinking that you are sick. It will make you actually sick. That's how powerful our minds. And also there are steps on how to be more positive. There are steps how to be more in more of a realistic person than to be just a wishful thinker or imagining things that are not real, which cause us to fear and give us anxiety. In short, what I'm emphasizing to you, fellow Toastmasters, is that we should always think of something that will happen to us, in good things that will happen to us, rather than thinking of things that will eventually be bad. Why not convert that energy to think to be positive, to think of things that are uh, giving us more confidence, giving us more strength and courage to pursue what we want to do or what we imagine our life to be. Okay, back to you, Toastmaster of I will have a question and answer session. So you could ask about anything about how your mind or how to be positive, how to avoid thinking negatively. Okay, Toastmasters.
I have a question to
Yes.
our speaker. Toastmaster Michael, in your line of work, how do you handle how do you handle the stress of having negative people? I mean, you are working in a multicultural company, right?
Yes.
And how do you handle these types of people, specifically when there are clashes between disciplines?
Okay. So for us, we have, like, I believe you have also encountered these people that are difficult to handle, or what do you call this? Have different opinions. So for me, for my experience, what I do when I encounter this kind of people is I will not try to convince them to listen to what I have to say, or to at least accept my opinion. But what I do is I just give them the facts, and I will tell them that this is my own opinion. I respect your suggestion and your opinion, but this is my point. Whichever is best, whichever solution or whichever way we can, like for us, we are always keen on avoiding cost implication and time implication. So whichever we could save time or cost, we will go to that decision. We will not say that your suggestion is wrong or your suggestion is right. We could say that this is the course that is more reasonable to avoid these implications. That's how I handle things in my line of work. Thank you, Toastmaster Harris, for that wonderful question.
No worries.
Did I answer your question?
I like your answer, and I'm satisfied. Thank you. Maybe the others
Thank
would
you.
like to ask.
Yes, you could, everyone, you could ask about love life. How could I handle stress in my love life? To all the people who are singles
Mike,
who would like also to have relationship.
Mike, I
Yes?
have a question.
Huh?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. DAD.
Oh, yeah, a while ago while doing your speech, someone disrupting your session. How you handled that?
Yes, I tried to listen to what are they talking about, and I am trying to make a joke about it, but I did not catch their. This is an honest answer. I'm trying to listen to what they are talking about, but I did not catch their conversation that clearly. So I I give them the benefit of the doubt, and also I believe their conversation is more important than my speech so far. Joke only. No, I
And
believe it's very important. So I'm not offended by people who are talking, because I always do that one also. So I understand what they are doing.
okay, Toastmaster Mike, thank you for taking it seriously. If no one would like to ask, I would like to ask a bit more serious related to
Yes.
your speech. Yeah, because currently I am having some sort of scenario like what you have shared, but something personal. For example, that's about work. How you handle things. Our first question is it can be related or can be connected in our personal life, this kind of issues? And if yes, how you handle it outside work?
Uh, could you please rephrase or be more specific?
For example, at work you were having some misunderstanding and some sort of miscommunication or problem with co-workers. How we can what to call that one? Oh, it's red. How we can relate it, or how can we do it accordingly if it's outside work, like with families or friends or so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe that communication and compassion and being kind is it will uh, it will always find a way. Like for us, if you are sincere, for me, if I am sincere, whatever the outcome, at least I have tried. Sometimes, even though you have tried a lot of things, it will not be solved, but at least you have tried.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening. And now,
One more question. We can accommodate one more question.
Yes, I can ask a question. Yeah, Mike.
Okay, go ahead.
Is there any mental exercise that you can share with your audience on how
Yes,
to level
yes,
down their stress level?
yes. This is what I would like to share with you. The first thing, that's the most simplest thing you could do every morning is you could meditate, even for 1 minute. Think of things that are positive. And also you could list down what are the things that you are grateful of. At least 2 or 3 things that you are grateful. Write this one. And also you could do a simple exercise like push up or run in place and pull ups, because it will give you this uh, happy hormones. We call it happy hormones, endorphins, if you exercise. There are a lot of things you should do. And I will tell you also, avoid holding your phone early in the morning. Don't read news, don't talk to messenger or other things. Avoid your phone at least for 1 hour every morning. You will be more pleasant to be with, and you will be more joyful and happy, and also slim because you exercise.
Thank you so much, Tim Mike.
Welcome, Toastmaster Ferds. Okay, any more questions? So I believe we have finished our session. DTM, Roy, do you have any questions? Some more questions, or you're good to go?
I'm good already. I'm cool. You're cool.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for being a lovely and enthusiastic audience. And I see the energy in your eyes and faces. Thank you very much for listening. And back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much to our lone speaker for tonight. I really took down notes and also suggestions. And thank you so much for sharing your personal experience. And I really learned a lot in your question and answer session. And we are also excited to hear the evaluation later on. But before that, may I call the timer? Can you please tell us if he is within his time limit? Madam
Thank,
Toastmaster Lillian?
thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the evening. Unfortunately, our prepared speaker did not qualify for the to win the prepared speech.
Point of order, it's 15 to 20 minutes.
Let me clarify with the Vice President for Education, but I will clarify later, sir.
All right. As we are still waiting for the clarification, let us move further to our table topics. Now, our table topics will be led by one of the greatest vice president for education that this club has ever had, and also he is always giving us wonderful themes. And tonight, he is our table topics master. He is an area director. I mean, he was an area director, area 18 director. Is that 18? Yeah, area 18 director. He was a past president of PRTC, and also he has held countless positions or execom position in PRTC. Please help me welcome our table topics master for tonight to delve further about the theme New Normal of Success. Let's give it up for Toastmaster Ferdinand Gueco.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harris, for that warm introduction. I'll be your table topics master for tonight evening, and our theme for today is about the new normal of success. Despite of the pandemic that what is happening to our country right now, I believe there are still some ways on how you're going to be succeed on your career, on your personal development, in every angle. So it is my task now to give you challenge, some particular questions and some pictures that I will show you later on, and you will about to answer that particular question from 1 to 2 minutes. It will test your mind, your brain, on how you're going to answer the questions and under pressure, and you'll be given a 1 minute for the green color and 1.5 minutes for the yellow card and 2 minutes for the red card, while you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. And of course, I'll be having 6 speakers for tonight. And I would like to ask, of course, a volunteer before I will begin to share my slides. Okay, so let me just give you a brief, sorry. Let me just arrange my, okay. So all you have to do is to choose a color among the circles that you can see below my name, and questions and pictures will show up. All you have to do is to answer that particular questions related to the pictures that will shown to you. May I ask if there are any volunteers for tonight's table topic session? I'll count in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hearing none, I'll be pointing out one speaker as our first speaker for tonight, which is Toastmaster Barbara Jane Benicarlo. Toastmaster Barb.
Good evening, VPE.
Hi, good evening. You may want to choose the colors.
Of course, I'll choose my favorite color, which is purple.
Color purple. And your topic is all about online fitness. And the question is, what advice you can give to people when it comes to health awareness? I'll repeat, your topic is about online fitness, and the question is, what advice you can give to people when it comes to health awareness? The floor is yours, Toastmaster Barbara Jane Benicarlo.
I'm sure everyone wants to live more longer than our quota age. Hello, Toastmasters, and if we have guests, honored guests, good evening. I myself is very lazy to exercise. I don't like to feel my muscle paining. I don't feel body aches. I don't like sweating. But as I turned 40 last year, I realized that my body is totally different anymore. I suffered from a disease called premature ovarian failure when I was 34 only. And I realized that the hormones of women are having much great value to us as women. And eventually I realized that I have to do something with my health. And for all women, not only women, but also men, I always advise that we have to be very careful and we have to listen to our body. It doesn't speak, but we can feel it in our soul, in our mind, in our being. It is also the same as if we have emotional problem. We feel that there's a pain in our chest. Our health depends on us. Whatever we eat, our lifestyle. So as we grow older, we already know, we are aware what kind of illness are we going to have because of the lifestyle that we are practicing every day. So even if I had that premature ovarian failure, I tried my best to do like exercising, walking. We are in fourth floor without an elevator. And for me, it is a lucky thing because I don't need to spend more time to exercise. Every day I can do that. So my dear fellow Toastmasters, just listen to yourself, listen to your body so you would know what to do. Because health is wealth. That would be all. Back to you, our table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Barbara. Definitely, I would agree, and I hope everyone listens to this health awareness advice, especially during this pandemic. We can learn a lot, something from those advices that we need it a lot nowadays. And our next speaker May I ask any volunteer? You can open your mic, or I'm going to call another participant based on the attendance for tonight's meeting. In 3, 2, 1. Toastmaster Lilian Beldad.
I'll be the timer.
Okay. Because I'm the
Okay, you may
timer.
now choose your favorite color except the purple.
Color red.
Color red. Your topic is about digital marketing. And the questions behind it is, if you will promote PRTC in a digital platform, how will you gonna do it? I repeat, your topic is about digital marketing. And the question is, if you will promote PRTC on a digital platform, how will you gonna do it? Let's all welcome Toastmaster Lilian Beldad.
Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topic Master. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. If I were to promote PRTC in a digital platform, how am I gonna do it? I believe nowadays most of the people are into digital or sorry, into more on gadgets and online. So if I were to promote PRTC, I would think of something like most of the people, not all people are in Facebook, not all people are in Instagram, but most of the people loves to watch videos, meaning they love to watch YouTube. So I would be preparing, or I would be promoting PRTC in blogging, by blogging, doing the blogs. Like most of our PRTicians, if not all, are bloggers as well. So in this thing, we can give videos, or we can create a video or creative videos to be presented. What are the achievements of PRTC? What are the achievements of PRTicians? How a speaker should be developed by doing the contest, doing the prepared speech, doing the table topics. So in that way, most of the people will be informed, or they will be aware that, oh, this is not just a club, but instead this is also a training ground for every person who would like to be developed in their communication skills, especially in English communication skills. And that would be all. Back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lilian. I think the questions really suit to you as our Vice President for Membership. May I call another participants from, how about from Spicers? Toastmaster Harimark Tolentino. Toastmaster Harimark.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, you may want to choose your favorite color except red and purple.
My favorite color is blue.
You choose color blue. The topic is about online studying, and the question is, do you think online study is as effective as traditional setting of studying? I repeat, your topic is about online studying, and the question is, do you think online study is as effective as traditional setting of studying? Let's all welcome Toastmaster Harimark Tolentino.
Thank you very much for that very fortuitous question. So, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Fergs. Do you think online study is as effective as traditional setting of studying? I believe that online study is not effective as the traditional setting, as we are going to the classroom. As you know, online study, you don't have to, this is not, how to call this, sorry. There's a limitation in online study. For example, when you are in chemistry laboratory, how will you know that your formula or the for example, if you are going to chemistry laboratory in college, you are all together as a group. You are not united in, of course, in online. How can you deliver as a group? And comparing it in the face-to-face or traditional setting of study. And these have advantage also. I believe there's minimal or uh, limited there's a limitation because and also there's a disadvantage of online study. You can search in a you can search in Google like that, but in traditional setting, uh, you must be prepared. So this is not an effective uh, way. But for now, this is the way of the new normal, and to be able to have a success for this, we should be honest, I believe, in doing the online study because uh, you have to be sorry. Okay, that's all. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harry Mark. Definitely, me myself can testify how online studying could also lead you to success. Because me myself is a product of success of online school. And I think I saw a volunteer from Toastmaster Roselle. Wait.
Yes, table topic master. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Okay, you may now choose your favorite color except for red, blue, and purple.
Where are the choices? I can see it again. Okay, okay.
Choose your favorite color.
What's
Yellow,
the blue,
peach,
pink.
green, gray.
Okay. I'll go with the green.
Go with the gray.
Green, green.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Gray, gray. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay for gray. Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry, Tim Rosel. Okay,
No
your topic
problem.
is about online mentoring. And the question is, if you will honor one mentor today, who will it be and why? I repeat, your topic is about online mentoring. If you will honor one mentor today, who will it be and why? Let's all welcome Toastmaster Rosel Sasso.
Okay. That's a very good question, actually. It's very timely. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, a pleasant good evening to one and all. Mentoring is one of the greatest part or best part in Toastmasters. We all know it's just about public speaking and leadership skills or leadership training. But for some, mentoring is just like out of the box that no one knows what. Why do we have this mentoring? Mentoring is one of the critical part in a Toastmasters because in a mentoring, this is where we build relationship with each other, and this is where we strengthen our foundation about Toastmasters. If I would be given a chance to honor, of course, there's a lot here in PRTC. A fellow PRTician will be my first pick, and the reason why, because my time is devoted with PRTC, and most of the time I would like to the mentor, the one that I would choose to be my mentor is the one who have time with me as well. We have to build a mutual relationship wherein you are growing together, not just he's teaching you. I'm sure that I've been a mentee and I've been a mentor also. So with that, I believe that it will be great for those who have both time for both mentee and mentor. For example, first began Toastmasters, I have a mentor, and the mentor left Riyadh abruptly in such a way that I was lost in the ocean. So I was looking for any mentor available. And what I did is that not the online mentoring, what I did is that I was searching or I was talking to all fellow PRTCs, specifically our DTNs, because I believe, not because I don't believe with my fellow Toastmasters, because I believe that distinguished Toastmasters here in PRTC already prove that being a Toastmaster member, not just a DTM, is not something that we will trying to look upon. If we have to look upon each other's in an equal, in a fair, in an equal and same level. Because with that, we are not pushing away ourselves against their achievement. It's like somehow a home feeling. Something that it's easy for us to learn, because most typical Filipinos like me, we have that kind of timid personality, or something that we are afraid of, because when we see someone greater than us or someone that we know they are at the top, we have that feeling of pessimism. So our distinguished Toastmasters here in PRTC, we are lucky enough because they are more than not just a humble person. They are more than just a friend, a family, should I say. So fellow Toastmasters, I am proud to say that I will honor one mentor. I will honor one mentor today, of course, will come here in PRTC. And with that, back to you, Table Topic Master.
I'm still waiting for that name, but thank you. Anyway, Toastmaster Rosel. There's another 2 more remaining speakers. May I ask Toastmaster Janray Tabuhara to participate on our table topic session? Toastmaster Janray. I think Toastmaster Janray refused to answer. May I call on Toastmaster Marty David? Toastmaster Marty?
Present.
Yeah, did I not surprise you, or maybe you are in a bathroom, maybe?
I know. It was not a forfeitus.
Okay, you can now choose your color, except for purple, red, blue, and gray. So you can select yellow, beige, and green.
Yeah, because I'm Dilawan. Joke. I will choose yellow.
Okay. Your topic is online job. And the question behind it is, if you will apply online, how do you convince the company to hire you? Again, your topic is about online job. And the question is, if you will apply online, how do you convince the company to hire you? Let's all welcome Toastmaster Marty David.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My lovely PRTians, good evening. I'm a little bit quiet because I'm still under the influence of vaccine, but we are always been a fighter. If you will apply online, how do you convince the company to hire you? Of course, now that we are in the online platforms, everything is online platforms, including bank transactions, the delivery of the items that we are ordering online. Everything is online. So I am going to, of course, I am going to tell them that I am a member of a Toastmasters International, which is we are expert in or we are dealing in communication skills and leadership. Of course, I believe that this is one of the great factor that I am going to convince that company to hire me, because of course I will not tell them that I am a humorous champion, because that is like a boastful statement. But I am going to convince them how we are handling the meeting systematically, and I believe that this platform, our online meeting, will give a big impact to the company that I'm going to apply with. So I believe that's all. And back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marty. I believe also your humor might be included, or maybe the HR manager will consider your humor in hiring. And finally, may we ask Toastmaster Jan Bray, are you available now? Or you are still on CR break? In 3, 2, 1. So we ask Toastmaster Alfred instead. You can now choose between a color beige and a color green.
Green, please.
Okay, choose the color green, and the topic is, oh, seems like you answered this before in one of the club. Online game. And the question is, what advice you can give to the young generation of today who are addicted with online game? Your topic is online game. The question is, what advice you can give to the young generation of today who are addicted with online game? Please, let's all welcome Toastmaster Alfred Dizon.
I'd like to correct my surname. I'm Alfredo Reyes. I'm not of the Dizon family. But your question, Mr. Table Topics Master, is the second time around I heard this question. And fellow Toastmasters, this is a fortuitous question, but I have to answer it. Good evening to all of you. The advice I would like to give to this young generation is to refrain from focusing themselves on online games. Instead, they should venture on more productive and more economical and productive, something that is very helpful to their education and to their family. Because as have mentioned before, uh, too much of everything is bad. And if you stay for a long time in front of the computer and just uh, 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 pushing the button, you will be not only be monotonous with your activity, and it will not lead you to be a productive person, but instead focus on something that is more uh, one thing that you can gain more knowledge, and it will uh, give you gainful employment if that is the case. And also one do something that is more helpful to your family instead of wasting your time doing uh, playing games. My advice is that educate our children in a more worthwhile activity, not to involve themselves in a computer games addiction. And that's it. Back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Alfred Reyes. Sorry for not mentioning correctly your surname. Anyhow, may I ask our timer if all our speakers are qualified?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Yes, I confirm except for myself. I think all of the table topic table topic speaker are qualified, and including the prepared speech speaker, Toastmaster Michael is also qualified. Thank you.
Thank you so
Back to
much.
you.
I vouch
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lilian. And you may now cast your vote among Toastmaster Barbara, Toastmaster Marty, Toastmaster Alfred, Toastmaster Rosel, Toastmaster Harimark for the table topic session. For my final word, definitely the pictures that you have seen on the screen for tonight, in every topic of this, you can always find some success, or you can find your way to success if you will just have the proper mindset. Either in an online platform, either you in online games, because there are some people who are already evidently success to their chosen field. There are some people just like Toastmaster NJ is becoming successful to his physical program, and some online school just like me who were able to achieve great success in studying online. So in short, despite of the pandemic, if as long as you have the right mindset, no one ever can stop you in achieving your success. So that will be all. Back to our Toastmaster of the evening.
Mr.
Toastmaster.
Table Topics Master, point of order, please. Let's include Toastmaster Lilian Beldad in the.
I'm sorry, but Toastmaster Lilian already waived his nomination as one of the best table topic speaker.
All right.
Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much to our table topics master. And at this juncture, with no further ado, I will be turning the control of the virtual lectern to our general evaluator, none other than distinguished Toastmaster Ruel Ontiveros.
Thank you very much to our Toastmaster of the evening for handling very well our first and also our table topics master for handling the table topics. You will be both evaluated later. And yes, I like my picture. Now we go to the segment where we are going to evaluate all that transpired, especially those who delivered their speeches, as well as the 6 brave souls who delivered their table topics piece. First in line is, of course, the evaluation of the prepared speech segment. Just a word of wisdom or a grain of salt to our speakers. These are personal view of the evaluators. Possibly they will stick with the requirements of the evaluating sheet. However, they are also given a free way to add more on the ways they think you can improve your speech. Now, let's listen to the first evaluator who will give his evaluation on that wonderfully prepared speech of Toastmaster Michael John Benicarlo, including his question and answer segment. Let's now welcome the president of Spicer Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Ryan Paul Panilo.
Thank you very much, our General Evaluator, DTM Ruel Ontiveros, for that very warm introduction. And to my target speaker, Toastmaster Michael Benicarlo, congratulations for a courageous speech delivery. Upon translating your title, Virtute Anim, it means courageous. And you have set a very good introduction about your project tonight, question and answer portion. You left your audience in a very engaged session on your introduction because you have provided a well-researched introduction by mentioning Mozart effect, wherein you caught the audience attention by mentioning a phrase, cow will produce a lot of milk through song, and it really left us mesmerized on that, and good research on that. And also you have set a very good body about your topic, which is you left us with the story regarding your school, which is like you have shared to us the experience of the cheating story, wherein the guidance counselor had reminded you on how to study hard and allow your audience to connect more, as we also went on that pace as well. And last but not the least, you have really excelled on your topic tonight, because the best part of your project was that you were able to answer the impromptu questions from the audience, and you have answered them courageously. And other than that, for the things that you may want to improve on is that I saw in your speech tonight that you were presenting a research on a web browser. The next time you may want to use a short, small slide or a single slide so that the audience may be able to visualize the name of that author and also the output of that research in a very brief second only, so that the audience will not be looking hard on the web browser. Next is that you may want to focus on your target speech project. I may suggest that you may center your personal examples much related to your topic, how to avoid negative thinking. And next is that you may want to improve on managing the number of the meeting participants on answering your research or your question and answer, because this is the center of your project for tonight, as this will also reflect on how efficiently we've managed the allotted time, wherein you have 10 minutes used, no? And I may also suggest that in engaging your audience, you may want to use something that will connect from your previous participants. For example, a single participant mentioned about or a question about the manner on uh, how we handle the stresses in the work. So that on the next participant, you may want to connect that. So for example, in relation to Toastmaster Harry's comment about work, how about avoiding negative thinking for our spouses or wives? So that will engage the thinking of the next participant. Last but not the least, you may want to wrap up your speech so that the audience may have something to ponder on. Leaving the audience in a positive thinking will make your question and answer unforgettable. And congratulations once again on delivering your speech project for tonight. And back to you, our general evaluator.
Wow, that was quite an extensive evaluation, Toastmaster Ryan Paul. And I congratulate you for that keen observation on the weaknesses as well as this good and positive parts of his speech. I commend you for that. And with that, Toastmaster Michael John, really it is important to listen to your evaluation on this manner. There is just one point that I may, if I may add, is that before you start, you could have explained that there are two parts of your project. One is the prepared speech segment where you are going to deliver details of this topic. And then later on, possibly on the second part or the second half of your project is a question and answer where you entertain the questions raised from the public or from the audience. And with that, congratulations also. And in this way, even the timer will not be misled or is going to argue with you, and we do not argue with our international speech champion because I'm very sure she can out speech you. And with that, congratulations again. And now we go to the evaluations of our table topics segment. We have 60 speakers, and the first three will be evaluated by the real, round, well-rounded person, none other than, of course, distinguished Toastmaster Roger Wenceslao. A round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Roel Ontiveros. But some of my friends would not want me to be called well-rounded because I have a big forehead. So I will be evaluating the three first speakers. Let me start with Toastmaster Barb. She was asked about her advice on health awareness. I would put a hashtag on the overall speech that she has hashtag eloquent. Toastmaster Barb's has always been eloquent, and we would see it in the previous table topics and even the way she delivered her speech. It was very educational, and because the question at first is it calls for something that is educational in the first place. That's why her way of answering it is, although it's by personal example, is mentioning, let's say, the specific health issues that she has, and from there she elaborated it. She used trilogy. The use of three is very effective when we deliver speeches. She used soul, mind, being. So let's all incorporate that in one way or the other when we deliver our speeches, the use of trilogy. So it's hashtag eloquent, and if I may add, hashtag smart. The way she answers it, it's always very smart. Thank you, Toastmaster Barbs. Next is Toastmaster Lillian. The hashtag will be Toastmaster Lillian is she's very feisty. The way her demeanor, her sound when she delivers speech is she's like aggressive, and she wanted to present her opinion immediately on that speech. When asked about the digital marketing, she mentioned about blogging, and somehow there is some crutch words that hinders her message. So I'd like her to develop more how to avoid those crutch words and take from your experience, let's say as VP for membership, to answer that question and deliver a better table topic speech next time. Next is Toastmaster Harry Mark Tolentino. Well, hashtag lost. Sometimes the although the question is online studying versus the traditional setting, I would like to suggest to use, let's say, since there are two things here, you can use comparison. So let's say on this side is what are the online benefits, what are the traditional benefits of studying. So you can have an easier way on how to outline it. But overall, our three speakers for tonight try their very best to participate in our table topic session. Back to our general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Roger Wenceslao. And yes, I will not compete with you with regards to that well-rounded forehead. I am the champion, you know that. And yes, now we go now to the next table topics evaluator for the rest of the speakers. Let's welcome now our champion in table topics himself, Toastmaster Ed Virador.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Do we have a distinguished guest? And also to our general evaluator, reporting live from my beautiful sala here in Riyadh Park. Well, let me start with Toastmaster Rosal. What I like about Toastmaster Rosal with this particular segment is he was very spontaneous on delivering the thought process about what Toastmasters is doing about mentoring and everything. You have already delivered an introduction, body, and conclusion. You started with the Toastmasters principles, and then you give an example when your Toastmaster had left you, and then eventually you gave a nice conclusion. However, I was really waiting. Who is that mentor that you would like to honor? You could do it like, for example, make it as a mystery. You don't need to name the person. You can just describe the person and how the person has performed in Toastmasters. In that way, that gives them a tickle feeling, of who you are talking about. And another is Toastmaster Marty. Well, uh, you're talking about Toastmastering related to your being an applicant. You I was looking for a personal story, to be honest. You might have not applied really during this pandemic period wherein it's everything is online. You can try to give an example. Like, for example, you can deviate the topic that, I not really applied a job during this pandemic, but I have convinced a lot of people online. And it's also the same feeling that when looking for a job, you really need to sell yourself. Selling yourself online is a bit challenging. However, you can put some more benefits into the online thing, that even though you have not applied for a job during this period, you have convinced people to believe in you also. And well, I would like to challenge also you to give us more of your call to order. What's my take home about your speech? The next would be Toastmaster Alfred. You're very straightforward. What I love about it is you're very straightforward you're very fatherly about telling your story. The online games is straightforward, not good. There's no other way to say a straightforward answer than that. However, since we are in a Toastmasters and we still need to give more structure, maybe you could give a little contrast that, play around with your principles. For example, that, Toastmastering, playing games is not at all negative because it might teach children how to be strategic in thinking, something like that, something to lighten up the topic. However, congratulations to the three target speakers. And back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
And yes, that is one of our reporters reporting live from one of the malls here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and still actively evaluating our next, the three table topics speakers. Now, may I ask our timer if the three evaluators are qualified to be voted upon as best evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Roy. Yes, all of our evaluator are qualified.
Yes, and
Back
while
to
you
you.
are casting your votes now, I will be giving my evaluation. Later on, you will see on your screen. Just do it fast. When you see that, there you are. Please cast your votes now. Who you think is the best evaluator? And our session actually is one of the best. We can say now that we are really doing well. Possibly now this is the new normal of success. Our opening for the Sergeant at Arms he's already well versed in giving us the pointers on making a good online meeting like this. I congratulate him for that. Also, I like the enthusiasm of our president in opening the program. However, there was that over enthusiasm of something like already we can say post evaluation of something that transpired a week ago. But still, or some few days ago, but still, we appreciate the effort of our president because he is always after the best of our club. I like the way our Toastmaster of the evening handled the meeting because he is really quite well versed now from the far away kingdom of Abqaiq and is still with us. And the opening is a little bit long. It's almost already like a seminar on the new normal. I wish that you can cut it short in a little while. But then again, you are still a very predominantly wonderful Toastmaster of the evening. And also just a little bit, you can point this a little bit on how next time you can become a TM of the evening is that try to connect the introduction of the other big two or the speaker connected on the topic, which is the new normal of success. Now with our table topics speaker, wow, that is something that I really commend about Toastmaster Ferdinand Gueco, the only Area 18 area director. It's that because he was able to really connect with the question and the different colors and the different things that we are having in the new normal, expecting that the question is, of course, connected with that. And of course, I like it that the texts are a little bit small, as if you are wasting some ink, you can make it a little bit bigger. And of course, that you have a ready Toastmasters who's going to answer your question. Now, may I ask our Vice President for Education if we can have the report? We still have enough time to have the report of the meeting leaders. Yes, I presume. Meeting leaders, please prepare yourself for a minute of report. Let's start now with our grammarian, Toastmaster Harry Mark Tolentino, with his report about the usage of the fortuitous as well as the grammars.
Yes, thank you.
Toastmaster Harry Mark.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, and good evening again, fellow Toastmasters. And here is my grammarian report for this evening. And for the list of those who use the word of the day, we have a total of 7 who use the words. And they are Distinguished Toastmaster Roel Ontiveros with 3 use of this word. Toastmaster Barbara, 1. Toastmaster Marty, 1. Toastmaster Mark, 1. And Toastmaster Alfred, 1. And for those who use the most of the word of the day, I have here popcorn, and I will send to here is your prize. Thank you for that. And for the improper grammatical uses for improvements, and these are the improper use. One speaker mentioned you lack some few enthusiasm, and if I may suggest, and I believe it should be you lack a little enthusiasm. And as per this Grammarly check, I check it in online. Another speaker said, our mind have a lot of power. I believe it should be our mind has a lot of power. And just correct me if I'm wrong. And another speaker said, I trying to cope up. And it should be, I'm trying to cope up. And that's the word. And another speaker said, don't talk to messenger. And it should be, don't talk to the messenger. And another speaker said, the floors is yours. And it should be, the floor is yours. And said, most of the people loves to watch. I believe it should be, most people love to watch. And another speaker said, Dilawan. I believe it should be yellow supporter because it is Tagalog. And that's all for the improper grammatical uses of for improvements. And here now these quotes, thoughts of word sayings that I like and that is very nice. For Toastmaster Haris Asidera, we live in a dynamic world where it is changing everyone. And again, think outside the box. Now's the time to unleash your creativity and out of this world ideas and help realize that. And another from Toastmaster Harris, the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. These are very words that I like. For another speaker, Toastmaster Michael Benicarlo, he said, Virtute anime is the power of the mind. Think positive because it will nourish your confidence to do more things. Yes, that's very good. And for Toastmaster Barbara Benicarlo, we have to be sorry. We have to be very careful with your body. Listen to your body. Health is wealth. For Toastmaster Rosel, they are not only a mentor but also a friend and as a family. And for Toastmaster Alfred, educate your children with worthwhile activities. And last, for distinguished Toastmaster Rogelio Wenceslao, I like the quote, hashtag eloquent, hashtag feisty, and hashtag lost. And very honest evaluation. And I like these words. And that's all for my report. And back to our General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Roel on the guys.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Harry Mark Tolentino, for that quite extensive report as being our grammarian. Now let's listen to another report, possibly extensive too, our A counter and face counter, Toastmaster Barbara Jane Benicarlo.
Good evening once again, and thank you, our General Evaluator. So here is my report for tonight. For those who use the words and sounds as a pause fillers, Marty, who has 5 us, 1 so, and 1 repetitive word. Toastmaster Alfred, 2 us. Toastmaster Roselle, 1 so and 1 long pause. Myself, I had 2 as and 1 so. Of course, I'm not exempted. Toastmaster Lilian, 1 and 1 repetitive word. My beloved husband, who's on the top. You have 4 as, you have 8 so's, and you have 3 repetitive words. Toastmaster Ferds, you have 1 and end. For Toastmaster Harry Mark, you have 2 us, 1 and 1 so. And Toastmaster Ryan Panilo, you have 6 us. And for DTM Roji, you have 2 repetitive words. I think this is not 100% accurate, as I have mentioned, but I believe that we are all have this manner of speaking with us and so's. For our face counter report, as I've mentioned, I cannot mention the exact report for this because most of us are closing our video. But if I could just give you a piece of advice, even without the videos, please kindly, because the only purpose of this is to discipline ourselves not to touch our faces most of the time in order to avoid spreading the virus. And that would be all. Back to you, our general evaluator.
Yes, there you are. Not only that she gave us the counter report, she also gave us advice to really control the virus, else it will control you. Next in line is our timer, the ever beautiful, my mentee, is our Toastmaster, Lilian Beldad. Our timers report, please.
Thank you so much, my mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Roel Ontiveros. For my report, Toastmaster Michael Jan Benicarlo, 18 minutes and 6 seconds. Toastmaster Barbara Jane Benicarlo, 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Toastmaster Mark, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Toastmaster Rosel, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Toastmaster Marty, 1 minute and 58 seconds rather. Toastmaster Alfred, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Toastmaster Ryan, 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Rogelio Wenceslao, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. And Toastmaster Edward Verador, 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Back to you, Ms. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lilian Beldad. And with that, we are going to listen later and have the report of the vote counter near the end of the meeting when called by the presiding officer. And yes, I have already given my evaluation of the meeting. I enjoyed the meeting tonight. After a long time that we have not heard about the report of the functionaries or the meeting leaders that we have today. And yes, congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to Toastmaster. What is his name again? Our humorous champion, of course, Marty David. And of course, to everyone for doing your part in tonight's meeting. And with that, back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much to our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Roel Ontiveros. Tonight is a very wonderful meeting, and our vote counter has already raised the poll. You may now cast your votes amongst our best meeting leader. Who do you think is the best meeting leader? Our grammarian, and face counter, our timer, and our Zoom master and vote counter. You may now cast your votes. You have 19 seconds, 20 seconds to do so. And I would just like to share the new normal is not always welcome. I have known a club who doesn't really welcome the new normal. They're not really into the online meetings and they don't see any value in doing online meetings. However, when they see the fruit of the efforts of the execom, when they see the yield of the things that we are really pursuing, that's the time that they change their opinion about online meetings, about the new norms. And just like us, let us be an advocate of this new normal. Let us not advocate for physical meeting as of the moment because it's not really safe yet. Even though there's already a vaccine, we still need to be vigilant. So it's not just about Toastmasters meeting, but in every possible way of our life, there will always be a new norm and you have to be prepared. Prepare for the changes that might come. So this has been your Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Harry Sasadera, and I congratulate our Level 2 Innovative Planning completion. There was a completion of the project, and let us congratulate Toastmaster Nerilyn Joy de Una. And I also congratulate our humorous champion, Toastmaster Marty David, and for the efforts of our valiant contender, Toastmaster Lilian Beldad, for really representing PRTC at the division and annual speech contest. Mabuhay PRTC. Returning the control of the virtual lecture to our club president, Toastmaster Alfred Reyes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the evening. And I'd like to reiterate, or I mean, overemphasize how grateful I am for all of you, despite most of you are immunized, and despite all of you are busy, despite all of you came from work, you still have time to concentrate on our virtual meetings every Tuesday, and that is because you love PRTC very much, and that is how you render your club service to PRTC. And mabuhay kayong lahat. Thank you very much to all of you. And I'd like to call before calling the Vice President for Education for our upcoming events, may I request our vote counter to please launch the poll for the best segment, the big three. Please vote between Toastmaster Harris Asidera, our joke master, Rosel Sason, our general evaluator, Ruel Ontiveros, and our table topics master, Ferdinand Gueco. So please don't forget to cast your vote. And while casting your vote, may I call our Vice President for Education for important activity of our club this month of March and month of April.
Thank you so much,
BPE
Mr.
words, please do the honors.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. But before that, let me all congratulate our fellow PRTcians that we already achieved the President Distinguished Award as we were able to collect 9 points as of this month of March. So congratulations, everyone. So there's a lot of reasons to celebrate besides the winning of Toastmaster Marty, the completion of the pathways of various speakers, and of course, the most important is the DCP points from the past officers and the current officers who were able to help each other to achieve it as early as March. But our target is road to perfect 10, inshallah. Just
Yes.
one level 2 and we will able to reach the perfect 10 score. And regarding the upcoming event, our exicom would like to invite you and participate on our upcoming debate program. Then our chairman, which will be Toastmaster Lilian, so he will give further details about it soon on our social media platform. And he will share it to you because we will be inviting some other club as well to participate on our debate because I think this is an 8PL program for Toastmaster Lilian. And of course, we will keep you update for some important events that we already conducted with our fellow Exicon soon. We will share it to you. Back to you, Mr. President.
How about the March 30 activity, Mr. Vice President for Education?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. And also, we will going to have a, how do you call that? A small gathering for Toastmaster Archie Torrejos, which will be held at the PICPA headquarters on March 30. So I'll be the chairman for this small gathering. So we will surprise TM Archie before he will go to Canada soon. So there will be a small gathering. And we would like you to invite everyone to please come so that we can give some a little bit memorabilia to our beloved PRTcian Toastmaster Archie. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, our Vice President for Education. Please mark that in your calendar, March 30, that is Tuesday. So we'll have a face-to-face gathering to honor and pay tribute to our Bababoom Toastmaster who will be migrating to, I think, to Canada. So let's all wish him a good immigration by migrating to Canada. And also, we are extending our invitation to you for our small victory party, which will be held on Thursday. So, if you will have, if you don't have appointment or commitment on that day, have dinner with us in the residence of our Vice President for Education and our parliamentarian. And we'll appreciate very much your presence. And Mr. Vote Counter, are you now ready with your report?
Mr. President, just
Yes,
point of
sir.
order, I think Toastmaster Marty has some announcements.
All right. Toastmaster Marty, you have something to say?
Ha? Ano yan, bro?
Sa pictorial mo, bro.
Yes,
Victoria,
yes.
sir,
I would like
Victoria.
to invite everyone, if you would like to join with us, the pictorial, this upcoming Friday, or we will organize first.
March
Because,
27, sir.
ah? March 27.
March 27.
Yes. Yeah. Our exipcom discussed about it, and I think we chose Alfredo Bascones. He's a professional photographer, so that you will look like handsome and gorgeous once we take this photographer. So if you want to join with us, please inform one of us, so that because I already told that photographer that we are only 8 person, but if more than 8, I think we could ask more discount.
The more the merrier.
Yes, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, my fellow Exicom, for supporting me last Friday. I don't know if I don't know what's the magic on me, why I keep on winning on but I just prepared myself that time. I took about I take a bath, very cold water, so that the bad spirit will come out from my body. And if you have noticed, I also wear the long sleeve that I wore during the 2019 contest. And I have some ritual, but maybe you could take some idea next year. Thank you very much, my fellow Toastmaster. Alay ko po sa inyong lahat yon, at sana this coming district contest,
English, please.
we will we will at least win this title. Thank you, and back to our Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, our very own champion. And we look forward that you will win the humorous speech competition this time in the Satak. And if DTM Roy will not challenge you, perhaps you will win. Anyway, let me give this opportunity also to our counterpart, our daughter club president, Miss President Ryan Paul Panilo, for your announcement.
Yes, thank you very much, our President Alfred. And we'd like to invite everybody to join our meeting tomorrow. A time for everything. It's our meeting team. And we also like to have meeting goals for tomorrow. So please support us. And back to you, our President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And the floor is yours now, Mr. Toastmaster Vote Counter, John Ray Tabuhara.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow Toastmasters, I am privileged to present to you the results. And the winners are, for the best prepared speech speaker, congratulations to our lone speaker, Toastmaster Michael Benicarlo. For our best table topic speaker, congratulations to Toastmaster Barbara Jane Benicarlo. For our best evaluator, congratulations to Ryan Paul Panilo. To our best meeting leader, congratulations, Toastmaster Harry Mark Tolentino. And for our best segment host, congratulations to Toastmaster Haris Asadera. Congratulations, and back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vote Counter. And that concludes our meeting tonight. Thank you all for coming and for the enthusiasm that you have shared tonight. And I'm adjourning this meeting. See you again next Tuesday. Good night to everyone. We are 6 minutes late already. Bye-bye. How about
Thank you, guys. Picture.
Group picture, please.
Laging kinakalimutan yung press. Group picture. Yala.
Who's going to take the picture?
Nagbihis na ako.
Okay, go.
Yan o.
Smile.
Please smile.
One. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yung pala si TM Bernard, kanina tatawagin ko sana kasi walang audio. Hello kayo, Bernard. Good night, everyone. Thank you, guys.
And TM Lilian. Good night.
Mga naturukan dyan, mga naturukan.
Oo nga, pahinga-hinga na.
Good night. Good night. May tulog ko ngayon.
Okay.
Masakit ang aking tinurukan tapos binabanatan ako, introduction pa lang ng speech.
Ay,
Wala
naman.
lang patay you.
Turukan mo din.
Ikaw,
Turukan mo din ang value.
ikaw sumali next year sa international speech.
Nag-
Para makita namin yung enthusiasm.
Wow.
Wala.
Nag-joke lang naman.
Thank you ako.
Dalawa ka na. Nakadalawa ka na. 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row.
Sabi.
Seriously, press, be careful because not all people are insensitive. Some people are sensitive. Especially, check if the person has just finished the vaccination. It's painful. Wala nga dapat ako ngayon. Kaya lang nag-commit ako kay Ferds.
Yeah.
So,
Tapos, babanatan mo lang.
Ngayon mo ubusan ng members. Be careful. Three girls ka na, sir. Nakaka-3 girls ka na. Baka maubos ang girls mo. Just be careful. Just a piece of advice. Before I give my advice personally, but now
Sure ka ba?
hindi pa nag-sink in. So, ano na?
Ano ba yung
Seryosong advice.
Ano ba yung immunization mo? AstraZeneca?
Alaka.
Astra init ng ulo. Masakit talaga siya. Masakit pati ang ulo ko, ha.
Mag-chill ka tonight.
Just be careful.
Uminom na kayo ng gamot, ah.
Oo nga, te. May Panadol na nga kami. Si Tito ang nagrabit, ah.
Mag 1,000 milligrams ka ta ng ng Fevadol.
Siya yung nag-chill ngayon. Kaya nga dapat hindi ako attend. Talagang naano siya. Ako medyo mild pa lang. Medyo ito pa lang masakit.
Question po, kapag walang epekto, ibig sabihin, walang epekto, hindi ang vaccine?
Hindi naman, TM. May mga tao talagang hindi nakakaramdam sa first dose. Pero yun nga sabi ni Doc na pag second dose, mostly hindi ka makakawala sa sa effects niya.
Correct.
Niloloko ko nga po yung mga magpapaturok pa lang. Ako lang kasi sa lahat ng nagpaturok ng Astra na walang symptoms. Sabi ko, tubig yata yung tinurok sa akin. Hindi pa yata vaccine. Wala eh.
Flu vaccine ata yung tinurok sa
I advise dun sa mga...
Masakit na yung braso, pero the rest wala. Hindi naman masakit.
Wala pa rin akong
Kailan ka TM, Haris?
Kahapon po. Kahapon.
So wala na nga yan. Kasi normally a day after eh.
Kahapon ng alas 12. Alas 12 kahapon. Wala akong hindi uminit ang pakaramdam, walang pagsusuka, hindi sumakit ang ulo, hindi sumakit ang kasukasuan.
Compatible
ni
ka sa
TM.
AstraZeneca, TM Harris.
Parang jowa lang compatible.
Ako, talagang mabigat yung pakiramdam ko. Hindi ako makatulog kagabi. So,
Opo.
I advise dun sa mga magpapaturok pa lang na after vaccination, uminom na kayo ng Panadol. Panadol night.
Ako kanina, trinay kong matulog. Inaantok ako sobra pero hindi ako makatulog. Di ko alam bakit. Kanina ko pa na-experience yun.
Maganda yan na ipahinga na agad. Yung, I mean,
tutulog,
if you have to take Panadol night.
Sino si ZM? Zoom Master. Okay.
Bago ako na.
Carlo.
Hi, TM Carlo.
Hi bro, tulog ka ng tulog.
Parang hindi na nag-speech si Carlo. Hindi ko na naririnig mag-speech si Carlo.
Early bird ako, hindi man ako na-recognize. Early bird, ako nagbukas ng ano.
Ng Zoom?
Carlo, ayaw na rin. Okay, let's
go. Si John Ray na-recognize.
Thank you po.
Guys,
natutulog na ako.
Oo.
Yung mga
vaccine pa lang.
pahinga na.
May muscle relaxant